Hi, this is Sean Wallace, the Dark Destroyer from the Chase, and you're listening to The Late Shift. I don't listen to it, but it's probably adequate. Keep on listening, or else.
Hello and welcome to The Late Shift. My name is Val and I'm joined by my interesting co-host.
James.
Saul.
I'm not interesting.
I'll just wait my turn.
What about the uninteresting
Friends, the dull friends.
Yeah, that's me. That's Jonah. I'm here. Just fishing for compliments, you know.
It got none.
There was a complete opposite, Jonah. You were given a compliment and you retracted it.
I neg myself, and then I'm expecting, hint hint, some sympathetic emails to Shifty fans to tell me I'm really interested. Most interesting.
They were already flooding in. It's funny because this isn't even live.
So you'll ruin the magic.
Yeah, the pre-uploaded video on YouTube is live.
Guys, I cannot tell you how frustrating it is having to edit in shiftyfans@gmail.com every single time anyone mentions it. It's so frustrating.
Okay, firstly,
You edit so much else.
Even better, 50shans@gmail.com. Just keep changing it every time.
more importantly, before we cry too hard for old Sisyphus over there, I've seen the fact she's got a pre-ready thing to go now. So.
No, but I have to time it every time.
No, you have to time it.
It's hard being talented.
Oh, who's first today?
I think it is
because
you,
we're doing a
Boy.
revamp. Remember?
Yeah.
We've revamped the revamp.
Yeah, already.
The revamp.
Well, you know what happens when the first revolutionary government takes over?
So the for today in history's an episode was the provisional government,
Yeah.
and we're now the Bolsheviks.
Yeah, this is it from now on.
Yeah.
Until Stalin takes over, and then
In which case, was that just back to Val having to say on everything?
Yes.
yeah.
Cool.
I always have a say on everything. That's kind of my thing. However,
Again, like Stalin, work your way up from a secretary.
also,
Take over
I was
the
going to
government.
say, what we really need to stress is the fact that our listeners are now getting less stories per episode is a good thing. Well
Like
done.
having less food per year.
Exactly.
But to be fair, if you want to riot about it, send us some riotous emails at shiftyfans@gmail.com.
I should have never said anything.
And also send them at 50shans@gmail.com. Perfect.
And also,
new animations.
And also, don't forget our tertiary website, thriftyWans@gmail.com.
Is that like the Irish slang for child, like a Wayne?
No. I just buy up
That's
domain names.
50fans.com.
Not enough people buy up the domain names of typos. Think about that. Think how much money you could make.
I think they do.
Do you think so?
Well, the people who make typos when they're buying domain names.
The amount of times you've accidentally...
I've gone to a Horn pub.
Yeah.
Damn it, again.
Just some guy in Hampshire on the Hog's Back being like, I make ale! And he's like, I know you're coming for one thing, but stay for the booze. Trust me, hear me out!
Hey, the Hogsback Brewery makes
Boobs,
fine,
not booze, man.
fine beer.
Booze, not
I'm
booze.
just saying, I think there's a market to be, assessing a keyboard and purchasing missed clicks off of things for, say, Pornhub or thing, or,
Wait,
or just big websites.
How many people do you think? Obviously, if you get to the website and only then realise you made a typo, but you can see it in the search bar.
Yeah.
Do you just wait for your searches to load all the time? You're like, well, I've cast myself down the stream of fate. Let's see what happens.
Obviously, because I use Chrome, I type it in, press enter, it loads up before I correct myself.
But the thing is that, that's what phishing was all about. That's the thing that, that was the big hoo-ha of the early 2000s when they were kind of saying to you, make sure that you're going to the right website, because it would be, one letter off, and you
You're
enter your
going to
credit card
Google
information.
and starting to type in your details.
So I always type my details into Google, because they don't already know them.
Yeah, because, you
Yeah, but
didn't you ever just Google yourself to see if you're famous yet?
No.
I realised
anyone
yesterday
mentioned me?
that Domino's remembers my credit card details, but Steam doesn't. I
Yeah.
don't know why that is.
Yeah.
Although I don't allow Steam to remember them, but at some point I let Domino's know.
Reckless.
Yeah.
But the thing with Google, when you're there, typing your details into Google, when you open up Google and it says, did you have a good meal? I had lasagna. Was it good? And you're there how did you know, Google? It knows.
They know everything.
They don't. And soon, I welcome our multicoloured overlords. I'll be a patsy.
You're going to paint yourself the appropriate colours.
Yeah, you're going to be the keyboard assessor. Great idea, Google. Misclicks.
Misclicks. More revenue.
Well, you're just going to. So it's back to the original point. You're just going to put ads on these type
Yeah,
those.
you type in
To
unknown.
the actual websites.
You
And
type
get the websites to pay you money.
yeah,
What kind of
yeah.
blackmail is that?
That is called being that's an aggressive expansion of the territory of middleman. All right, porn nub. We're gonna have to talk to them again, but I can redirect them to the correct website if you'd like.
Okay, but all jokes aside, Today in History is now going to comprise of 2 stories instead of 4, as we've done on the previous 4 episodes. Because we think that it would be a much better way of kind of delving into the stories a little bit deeper and not worrying so much about timing and actually having an opportunity to have an intro before we do Today in History. So start us off today.
Okay, I unfortunately I haven't been able to get out of America. I've been scrambling, and all my history I've been doing just keep ending up in America.
That's the thing, yeah. When you think of America, you don't think of it's hard for foreign nationals to get out.
Also, I'm gonna apologise for last time I was telling my story, because the amount of times I said basically, I wanted to shoot myself in the head. I've listened that back and it's awful. So I'm going to refrain from using the word basically. Check this out.
Just one more time. Get your like a parting cigarette. Say your last basically.
Basically. Okay, done. 1878. I'm talking about the spread of Poles across America.
Oh. Like Poles like Polish people or Poles like Poles?
1878. New York got their first
Fireman poles. So you mean poles as in
fireman
actual
pole.
poles?
Yes, actual poles.
Not the Polish.
Not the Polish.
No, they spread it across.
Their spread across America is less important than the addition of poles.
What makes it difficult to track because there are many points in history when Poland wasn't really a country, so therefore they're no longer an ethnic group.
But there definitely was fireman pole country.
No.
Obviously.
Yeah, that's not how it works. Okay, either Russia, Austria, or Prussia. Well, technically, you're not a country, so you're not a group, really, are you?
One thing that I saw which made me laugh, because the thing is, obviously, I saw this fact and I was like, that doesn't seem that interesting. But then I delved deeper because I really had to.
There's a rabbit hole for fireman poles.
You descend down the pole and you just hope that
I want
there's
to.
going to be.
I want to use
ground
this word as it's supposed to be used. Obviously, people constantly put it on their Lovecraft fan fiction, but this is some esoteric history, which is the spread of fireman poles around America.
Hey, there has been a dissertation on it, I guarantee.
Oh yeah, there was a dissertation I saw once about the invention of the swim cap.
That's one I saw was cosmetics in Soviet Russia.
Okay, so my story though, the really interesting fireman pole story.
Far more interesting than lipstick and shower caps.
so in 1870, the first fireman pole was invented in Chicago. The thing is,
Or New York.
New York got the first one.
Chicago's ahead of the game, gotcha.
Well, it was invented there, but it took a while for the
To spread.
Yeah, to spread. But the thing is, at the time, firefighters were more like the whole Romanesque firefighters. So you had obviously separate companies, and it was more like, the first one to the scene would get the commission.
Yeah.
So being first and being the quickest to get there was very, very important. Mm-hmm. So there was Company 21 of Chicago. They were the first ones to introduce the fireman pole, and they were mocked for it because they thought, how ridiculous with your pole, because we like our slides, because they had chutes at the time. They basically had fireman slides.
It sounds like two children having an argument in a play park. Yeah. Like, just the slide factory, like, oh, it's the pole boys.
But one thing that I found really funny, because they had chutes to go down, but they had spiral staircases to go up. So it is very similar to a play park. But do you know why they had spiral staircases in particular?
No?
It's because horses can't go up spiral staircases.
They fearful of them? Were they worried if the horses could get upstairs, they'd take over management?
No, it's because the upstairs is the living
oats.
quarters. So upstairs was the living quarters where they'd cook and things like that. And when they had straight staircases, and obviously at the time they didn't have cars, they had horses. They would head up to these stairs because of the smell of food. That's why.
So you're telling me that this was enough of a concern for the firemen, rather than just, I guess, to usher the horse back down is a lot of effort. But horses invading firemen's living quarters was enough of an issue that we need to drastically redesign the staircase.
Yeah, I get what it happened more than once.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's a security feature where they're
but imagine this, James. Imagine if you got a horse accidentally went up the stairs, and then you're like, how am I going to get that? It's going to be the chute. So they push it down the fire chute. There's one perplexed firefighter at the bottom, just seeing this horse coming out of the fire chute.
Oh yeah, with all 4 broken, spindly legs, just lands on the floor and someone just puts them down in one swift movement.
I don't understand how that's a problem. Like, how that's a very unique problem for firemen. Why were the horses in the same building as the fucking living quarters? I don't get that. Why couldn't they hitch the horses outside?
No, for speed. So you have to get down on horses out as quick as possible.
And if they're up the stairs, you can imagine this, you're running like, guys, quickly, we need to get that commission. You run down, all your horses disappeared. You go upstairs, the chef's there in the kitchen trying to fend them off. They've come for the apple pie.
Back your feet.
I told you, stop making apple pie.
But horses are so naturally skittish creatures. Like I can never imagine them, like aggressively invading an upper floor.
Just sneaking up the stairs. You just hear like.
It brings another definition to what the horse's head in your bed thing from The Godfather, doesn't it? If you wake up, there's just a horse in your bed, and he's like, I live here now, and it just rolls over.
So horses downstairs. Obviously, later on.
So the way you said that is like there's a fireman taking a new recruit round. Like, first rule, horses downstairs, people upstairs.
If I find a horse upstairs, mate, you're down.
Go through the fridge again.
You're going down the chute, mate. So they.
Look, what you do in your spare time is fine, but don't take the horses upstairs. If you've got to be with a horse, you've got to do it downstairs. So
I'm loving the idea the firemen are opposed to the pole because they're like, well, how are you supposed to get the horses down the stairs?
How are you
have to lead them back down the stairs? Where's the convenient horse chute?
So Company 21 introduced the pole, and they started to use it, and they were being very, very quick. So then other places started to use it to be to get the first as well. But I think what I found funny was the fact that I've been looking up nowadays, and do we still use fireman poles? Generally, no. A lot of places actually are getting rid of them because of all the safety hazards of like breaking your legs.
And it's also like a little bit too sexy.
Yeah, that's the problem for fighting fires. It's the one after the other go down the chute and then go, I'm very aroused, and they all just start making out, and it's just this huge orgy.
How can we put out the fires?
On
Hornpub.
How can we put out the fires in the streets if we've got these fires in our loins, and then they just go at it at the bottom, big mass.
Why did you have to do a squelch noise? And they.
You don't think it would be a squelchy affair? About 20 firemen banging one another when they should be saving burning people?
Another problem with fireman poles is the fact that.
I love that you acknowledge the fact that them being too sexy is a problem.
But no, they actually end up having multiple problems. Yes, they were very, very quick, but
and very sexy.
And very sexy.
And a good horse deterrent.
Nowadays, there's two ways that people have kind of solved it. One,
cannon.
Cannon. No, one, they've gone back to the slide.
The Attack on Titan?
They've gone back to the slide. Some places have fireman slides again.
So
the thing is, it was originally called a fireman chute, and now it's called a fireman slide, like it's something different. And I was like, it's a slide. It's the same thing.
Do they have any concern about the fire engines going upstairs?
Well, another thing is, in a lot of the English fire stations, obviously, we just have our living quarters on the ground floor. So we don't need to go down a fireman pole because we don't have horses anymore. So
but the horses could, in the past, have got in.
Well, another problem was the fact that if you had the fire engines and the living quarters upstairs with a fireman pole, all the fumes would go upstairs through the fireman pole.
When they run the engine, yeah.
When they run the engine, you just have everyone just getting very sleepy. Like, I can't get up.
I'm just imagining now the way you described that whole. Oh, we just have them on the ground floor.
It just makes sense, though, doesn't it?
It just makes sense. But the way you said it ominously, like it was the setup for a horror film. But you forgot the real enemy. The horse is coming back for the food, and someone would be like, "We were so reckless, so concerned with speed and our modern technology, and then while we were out, the horses just ate everything, just milled around the place."
No, they keep all the horses upstairs now.
I'll keep them upstairs.
You have to stop them coming downstairs, like through the attic. There's just a hatch.
So you see some ceiling coming crumbling down as they're chiseling through, like Shawshank Redemption.
Oh no, I was just thinking like a trap door, but just it opens. There's just a horse head just looking out.
I can see the modern horror trailer for it now. I can see the trapdoor opening and whatever B actor looking down, and then just seeing the Bagul jump horse head coming down from the attic, being like, they're up there the whole time, and the clop clop on the floorboards.
I know it's really stupid, but do firemen have to live at the fire station?
If you're on duty, yeah.
Is it like a thing where it's like 4 days on, 4 days off type thing? How does it work?
I'm not too sure, but
Are they
I know that basically you...
How do you have families if you're a fireman then? You can't live with your family there.
Well, it's simple. You go around a lot of very attractive women's house and have sex with them.
I think it's more like hospitals where you have, sometimes you might do night shifts and things like that.
Yeah.
And they might have beds there just in case you do need to sleep, but most of the time...
You're not
I don't know,
sleeping,
they're playing
you're surrounded
Yu-Gi-Oh!
by
and-
firemen.
So what you're telling me
Backing
is
horses off.
firemen do just enough work, just a small enough amount of work that people think they live there rather than work there when they're on shift. That doesn't sound good.
Well, I'm sure...
Do you live here? No, I'm on shift. And why are you watching TV? Why are you watching Jeremy Carr? I'm on shift.
to be honest,
Well, you're right, James.
I think a lot of the time...
more things should catch fire, so firemen work more.
Yeah.
No, they do a lot of training. They do a lot of training for new
A lot of
recruits and
kissing
stuff
as
like
well.
that. And obviously, topless cleaning the fire engines and things like that.
Well, I need to hose it down again because we'll be trying to get dirty.
No, I would say
Except
like...
that water fight ends up with dead people because it's a pressured fire hose.
Yeah.
It'd be like having a water fight with a pressure washer.
But don't you agree?
That kid's really upped his game, isn't it? I'm imagining that now. Water balloon. Some kid comes out of a pressure washer like Arnie.
So the problems with fireman poles is the fact that you can injure yourself in many ways. So you could fall down the hole.
Obviously, yeah.
You can shatter your ankles.
Yeah.
And one of my favourite ones is just friction burns. So you just go down the pole, just...
I love the idea.
I thought they butter it up.
Oh, wow, this is just more porn you've been
Val,
watching.
what do you mean butter it up? That's really not to say.
No, because the horses will be licking the poles then. That's the problem.
Yeah, then you land on the horse. You
Just
go
his
quick
head.
as quick as
Just
you can.
Just kill it.
Oh, no, they need that squirrel grease that your granddad has.
Oh yeah, greasy palms, wouldn't you?
To stop the horses climbing up the pole to shimmering.
To eat the bird seed. I remember so vividly the mime of the squirrel looking at his greasy paws in a horrified expression and like licking them and being like yuck.
I just love imagining it in my head as your granddad just got massive hands.
Yeah.
Your granddad
Greasy
pretending
paws.
to be a squirrel
Yeah.
with its fucking big ass.
To fill in our listeners, my granddad was upset that the bird seed he had was being eaten by squirrels, so he decided to grease up the pole in the hopes that the squirrels would climb up the grease and it would make the birdseed taste greasy and they wouldn't want to eat it. Suffice to say, I have seen numerous squirrels up there eating the birdseed regardless of their greasy paws, because I don't think the animals are quite self-aware enough to have, culinary hygiene.
They're eating with their feet in the end.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like it's literally like if we ran around outside barefoot on our hands and legs, and then just ate with our hands. We wouldn't be like, it's greasy. You'd just be like, nom nom nom, I'd eat with my face. So
I think my dad's idea was rat paper, so you just get stuck to the pole.
yeah,
Oh, and then start gnawing through their own paws. Because that's what rats do.
Well, that's true.
You just get just a
I have
hole full
family-
of just squirrel
This is
hands
guys,
only.
here's my solution: don't give them birdseed. Let then you just make weak birds survive.
Guys, we're missing the point. Let's just talk about sexy firemen. So, I think firemen are the sexiest emergency response people. I think firemen beat
Lifeguards.
doctors and fucking police
Lifeguards.
officers any day.
I thought you were.
For sexiness.
I thought
Coast Guard is still... Why does everyone forget the Coast Guard,
The Coast Guard, forget the Coast Guard.
Oh, Jimmy, am I supposed to be on duty tonight?
999. Which service? The Coast Guard.
Well, to be fair, I think it was because we don't live in a port.
That's a good point.
Like, I feel like people who do live like
Port of London?
a proper port, not the place
Oh,
where
docks
all
us.
of London's shite just flows out into the sea and mutates.
Okay, come on.
The
point is, firefighters are the
Victorian prejudice
sexiest.
against the East End.
I don't like London. It's full of dirty people. I call them.
Firefighters are sexier than police.
Yes.
They victimise less ethnic
Hear me out.
minorities.
How much? Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah.
That's true,
How
yeah.
many accusations of fireman brutality do you get?
Well, you never heard the flame side of the
Didn't
story.
you hear? There was a firefighter that only saved all the white people in that building. Can you imagine?
I feel like it would be hard work as a firefighter to be racist.
I'm just
It's
imagining.
basically,
Yeah,
their
'cause-
chance is letting someone die.
while they're on the job, to be fair, maybe in their spare time they can be as racist as policemen.
Yeah.
We're just like, I saved a little boy's life today. Had to wash my hands after. He was ethnic.
Yeah, or your accusation they only saved the white people. The idea that the mosque is on fire and a fire walks out and goes, now they all got out of the back. Don't worry about it. And you can hear people screaming from inside. Like, I didn't see anyone.
No, but I'm saying it would be difficult. You know, if you're saving people that are like in a burning building, you have to like look at them. Like it takes time. You're
Scrub
just trying
the
to
soot off
fucking
the face.
Wait a minute!
Is it? No, I can't.
Just lobbing them back in.
Ray, that's not just soot. Like, back in you go. No, it's horrible. Oh, we can't joke about that.
Oh, but we have.
But racist fireman.
Hey, it's on your shoulders, so.
See,
now I'm trying to.
Well, you're the one editing.
Now I'm trying to apply
Oh,
the
right.
same level of racism that the police have to all the emergency services. So I'm just imagining a migrant dinghy in the Coast Guard driving up to with a rifle, shooting it, and then just driving off.
Just sink it.
Just sink it. Just like, fuck off.
Hey, well, that was, to be
boring
fair,
lad.
that was pretty much Mrs. May's policy when she was Home Secretary.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the end of my story and the end of the fireman poll. So just to reiterate, April the 21st, 1878, New York City got their first fireman poll. Thank you. I've been Saul.
Fantastic. I wonder though, how long did it take from the installation of the fireman pole for pole dancing to begin?
That was another problem, actually, is that when pole dancing took off, the increased demand for poles drove the price up. Both poles to dance on and poles to dance on the poles.
But the thing is, the fireman poles are a lot longer than the stripping poles that you'd get, I imagine.
Depends what clubs you go to.
So
You can get a 2-story stripping pole, I bet. Think of that, like trapeze stripping. You start off the top and you just...
Stripper poles came a lot after fireman
what,
poles.
100 years later?
Close. It was 1950s apparently was when pole dancing.
1950s. The war's just over, guys. You know what we fucking need.
Yeah.
Sexy fireman. That's see.
Yeah.
It was fireman poles that led to stripper poles.
I can't believe it took 100 years for them to be like, yeah, that's pretty sexy, but like, how about a woman? No. For 100 years, people were like, yeah.
How about this?
I've got a fire
Woman,
in my house.
barely any clothes.
Yeah.
Stuffed dollars in her pants. Done.
And what, she puts fires out? No, we that's the bit we're cutting off.
So when does the horse?
Stirs fire.
So when does the horse get upstairs?
That's
Well, that's the extra service.
No, but Saul, you were completely right. Like, although it sounds like a very dull topic, I wouldn't have really thought to consider fireman poles as being a revolution of any kind or improving things because it's such a. I'm so used to it. Because I'm so used to the idea, I guess,
Stripper
that
poles.
firemen have poles in their
Always had poles.
in their fire stations. I
Even
don't
in
know.
Roman times, they're like in their little togas. People underneath, like, looking straight up to fucking
Marcus Crassus got
Yeah.
a pole.
pay me.
It's just the toga just like slowly just like lifts.
Yeah, lifting up as his guy.
And then he obviously like he locks his legs and then just leans back.
Yeah.
Just slides down.
Let's suffice to say, the Romans invented the stripper pole much quicker than we did when we rediscovered the fireman pole.
It's like Greek fire. Like
Yeah,
the
we lost
fireman
the technology of stripper poles because the Romans and their togas getting tweaked up. And obviously, seeing as it's the Romans, you would just have a veteran firefighter be there like, that's my boy. As his toga slowly catches and just reveals his bottom half as he comes down. You go, don't mind if I do.
Think of the friction burn.
Partake in the old buffet on display.
You've got the cloth is around the pole.
No, it's
Yeah.
buttered.
Oh yes, of course it is.
So it's Romans. Olive oil.
Yeah, come on. You
Yeah,
cover your boy in olive oil, you
yeah.
slap him on the pole, he just slides down.
Bring the oil pleb.
Like he was, yeah. Oil pleb, grease us, we have a fire to attend.
Coat us in slightly flammable liquid.
That's for the buggery. The pre-work buggery.
I just like the idea of just covering yourself in oil then going into a burning building just like so as you slowly cook.
Yeah, crispy fried
Well,
fireman.
it motivates you to do a good job.
Yeah.
Because you've got to be in and out of there real quick.
Yeah, you got.
Nothing motivates me like a basting.
I don't like it. Right, plebs come out the burning buildings rare.
What and crispy.
You want to come out of a burning building rare.
No, because rare is it's still a bit cooked.
Oh.
I mean, they're not going to come out all if they go medium rare, are
like-
they?
Looking a bit blue.
Well done. Good job. I really like the story about fireman poles. I relate on the fact that like you just can't escape America, and I also feel like a massive hypocrite because today's story, that I've brought before you today is actually from 1945. And despite my protests about how we need to stop talking about World War II because the majority of the people actually know a lot about it, I couldn't resist when it came to this story. So, because it's not a story about any one side, it's not a story about military strategy, it's a story that's so unbelievable that it almost feels like somebody wrote out a plot to a shitty, like, action film.
Little girl hiding in attic.
Will she get found?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
So, the person I'll be talking to you about today is called Daniel Inouye. Daniel Inouye was an American politician who served as a United States Senator from Hawaii from 1963 until his death in 2012. But I won't be talking about his career as a member of the Democratic Party, even though he was the third in line at one point for the presidential line of succession and was the highest ranking Asian American politician in US history. Daniel Inouye was also a soldier in World War II. We'll be talking about that. So Inouye was born in September 1924 in Honolulu, Hawaii. He was the son of Hyotaro and Kame Inouye. He was a Nisei Japanese American and the son of a Japanese immigrant father and a mother whose parents had migrated from Japan. I thought this would link really interestingly
to my internment camps.
So as soon as the Japanese Americans were allowed to enlist, he actually dropped out of med school and signed up. There's also some reports of the fact that he said some derogatory things about those Japs, himself being Japanese. Never mind. Within a year, basically, he became sergeant and headed a platoon getting deployed in the Italian campaign. Inouye was promoted to sergeant within his first year, and he was assigned as a platoon sergeant. He served in Italy in 1944 during the Rome-Arno campaign, before his regiment was transferred to the Vosges mountain region of France. So he was deployed in the Italian campaign and had a very unbelievable thing that happened to him. So when he was, he served as a sergeant in the 141st Infantry Regiment that was surrounded by German forces, and he received a battlefield commission to second lieutenant for his actions there, becoming the youngest officer in his regiment. At one point, while he was leading an attack, a shot struck him in the chest directly above his heart, but the bullet was stopped by $2 silver he happened to have stacked in his shirt pocket. He continued to carry the coins throughout the war in his shirt pocket as a good luck's charms, up until this very incident that I'm about to tell you. So if you think it's weird enough that a bullet was stopped by $2 silver, get this. So on April 21st, 1945, Lieutenant Inouye was grievously wounded while leading an assault on a heavily defended ridge near San Terenzo in Liguria, Italy, called Colle Musatello. So the ridge served as a strong point of the German fortifications known as the Gothic Line, the last and most unyielding line of German defensive works in Italy. As he led his platoon in a flanking manoeuvre, 3 German machine guns opened fire from covered positions 40 yards away, pinning his men to the ground. Inouye stood up to attack and he was shot in the stomach. Ignoring his wound, he proceeded to attack and destroy the first machine gun nest with hand grenades and his Thompson submachine gun. When informed of the severity of his wound, he refused treatment and rallied his men for an attack on the second machine gun position, which he successfully destroyed before collapsing from blood loss. But wait, he gets up. He comes to. As his squad distracted the third machine gunner, Lieutenant Inouye crawled towards the final bunker, coming within 10 yards. As he raised himself on his left elbow and cocked his right arm to throw his last grenade, a German soldier saw Inouye and fired a 30mm anti-personnel rifle grenade from inside the bunker, which struck Inouye directly on his right elbow. The high explosive grenade failed to detonate, saving Lieutenant Inouye from instant death, but amputating most of his right arm through the blunt force trauma. Despite this gruesome injury, Lieutenant Inouye was again saved from likely death due to the blunt, low-velocity grenade tearing the nerves in his arm unevenly and incompletely, which involuntarily squeezed the grenade tightly via a reflex arc. So instead of going limp and dropping the grenade that he was launching at the German, he was still squeezing it in his severed hand. How? I'm sorry.
Did he then grab his arm?
Yes! So basically...
What a nutter!
So he's in terrible pain, he's bleeding out of his stomach, his fist is clenched around this grenade, by a miracle.
Anyone that's seen Reservoir Dogs, being shot in the stomach is incredibly painful, and it takes you ages to die.
Yeah, it's like about 30 minutes.
Then the
It's
Germans realise it takes you ages to die at this point. the old juggernaut that's coming from.
It's like Deadpool that's like reincarnated.
Yeah.
Like,
So he's basically the soldiers in his platoon basically run to his aid and try to help him. He shouts at them and says, "Get away! Like, I don't know how much longer my hand is going to keep squeezing because I don't understand how this is happening." He picks up the grenade in so his the German inside the bunker begins hastily like reloading his rifle and trying to fucking take down this man.
I imagine he's rather shook at this point. He fires a rifle grenade at the guy, watches his hand comes up, and this psychotic guy just bends down and picks up his own severed hand with a grenade in it, starts lifting and starts yelling, "Get away, lads, I've got this one." As he rears up, you see that he's already been shot by that machine gunner you called a liar when he said he hit him.
Inouye quickly pries the live hand grenade from his useless right hand, transfers it to his left. The German soldier had just finished reloading and was aiming his rifle to finish him off when Lieutenant Inouye threw his grenade through the narrow firing slit, gets it in,
With his left
killing the
hand.
German. And then stumbling to his feet with the remnants of his right arm hanging grotesquely at his side and his Thompson in his offhand braced against his hip, Lieutenant Inouye continues forward, killing at least one more German before suffering his fifth and final wound of the day in his left leg, which finally halts his one-man assault for good and sent him tumbling unconscious at the bottom of the ridge.
unconscious,
Yeah.
not dead.
No,
Oh no,
unconscious.
because he went on to be a senator afterwards.
Yeah.
So he survives the war.
He comes to again to see the worried men of his platoon basically hovering above him, being like, "What's going on?"
You
His
actually
only
dead yet,
comment-
you crazy
his-
bastard.
His only comment before being carried away was to gruffly order them back to their positions, saying, "Nobody called off the war."
What a man.
The remainder of Inouye's mutilated right arm was later amputated at a field hospital without proper anaesthesia, as he had been given
Kept as a
too much
trophy.
morphine.
I'm surprised you didn't argue by request, may I add.
He cut his own arm off.
Yeah, the surgeon came in like, "Right, Mr. Inouye, just got you. What have you done?" "Oh, I don't want to bother anyone. I just sawed off the old plastic spork they gave me for lunch.
Yeah, so
Sharpened the edge of a yogurt pot. Just got rid of it."
at the aid station, they worried that they gave him too much morphine because they were basically trying to help him with the pain, which clearly he wasn't experiencing anymore because he's like surpassed human capabilities. So they couldn't actually like amputate his arm with the proper anesthesia because they were worried if they were going to give him anything else, he was going to just die. So he was born in 1924 and he died in 2012. So he lived a very long life, and he actually died from respiratory complications with his respiratory system. And his last words were "Aloha." And that was the story of Lieutenant Inouye.
I'm surprised. I don't think he died of respiratory. I think he just stopped and went,
Decided-
I think I've decided that I'm going to die now. Because there's no way that death is allowed to make that choice for me. Goodbye.
What a crazy action sequence.
Yeah, I'd rather watch that than Hacksaw Ridge. I'd rather watch one guy get shot like 48 minutes
Crazy
worth.
Japanese American.
Yeah, than watch that that one medic not get shot for the whole film.
Can
Just
you
watching
imagine
this.
being that German in the bunker? You're like
It's like something out of the first Predator film. That guy gets his arm shot off and he dies.
Well,
What
just thinking,
puss?
it was like Boromir if he survived.
Yeah,
Just like taking all the ammos.
Yeah,
What a
imagine again, like what I was saying with it being so the machine gunner that got him first was like, got him, and then he gets up again, and they're like, obviously you didn't shoot him, Hans, you liar. And he's like, no, I lit him up, I swear.
yeah.
Obviously, Hans probably got slapped around the back of the head for being a liar.
Well, and then he took the machine gun nest.
No. He then,
then he takes-
grabs a grenade. He's like, "Ah, fuck this guy."
No,
Throws it
No,
away.
because he takes
Yeah,
two
yeah.
machine gun nests first. I mean, they're all there like, someone said we shot this man. Clearly not. He's just wandering around like a maniac. Then someone goes, all right, I'll see to this boy. Gets the old rifle grenade out, shoots it, and then he's just there like, he's still alive. Okay.
It's like you would have seen his arm go like...
And then
It's
he'll
like
just
break,
pick
and
up
then
the
just-
grenade from his arm and just be like... Obviously, he wouldn't point with his other hand because it's hanging off, but he'd just look at you and be like, you. And you're there like, hastily trying to reload the second one because clearly you didn't plan for round two on this fight. Like,
I couldn't believe that story. I can't believe that's real.
I literally, it wouldn't have surprised me if he were like, and at the end, after falling down the hill unconscious, he woke up, picked up his knife and just threw it, and it hit Mussolini in the face. Like, yeah, he just... that's the thing, for all the war propaganda they had, why not have that guy's story? But like, what are you doing? They're at home, and it's like me. Look at old Mr. Inouye just getting shot to pieces and still killing Germans.
Honestly,
by war bonds
Saz
today.
is probably because he's Japanese American.
Good point,
They couldn't put him on any posters.
Yeah.
When he came back from the war...
John Bassilone's there, burned his arm, still got his arm though, pussy. Well, he got a Medal of Honour.
When he came back, he got...
Did Inouye get a Medal of Honour?
Yeah, he did. He got like the highest honours, everything. But he came back.
You're just slapping the purple heart on him. Just slapping it on him and just be there like,
We get at least...
give me more.
He would get... How many wounds did he have? 5?
5, yeah.
So technically, he'd be owed 5 Purple Hearts.
Because, well, I mean... Well,
Beep, beep, beep. Just delivering purple hearts for old Mr. Inouye again.
I was going to say, well, if Pearl Harbor was historically accurate, then everyone was getting Purple Hearts.
Yeah, well, the film, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was referring to the film because obviously, do you remember that scene when I'm pretty sure like the doctors and stuff like that? Do you know the woman gets awarded like I think it was the Purple Heart or something? I mean,
Yeah.
Was it?
Also, all the school children the Japanese choose to drop their singular bomb payload on because they're full of blood.
But what I was saying is that so obviously Inouye's story is insane.
You think it involves a man severing his own severed arm and throwing a grenade?
To most people, you know, being almost shot in the heart and stopping the bullet with $2 is pretty fucking hardcore.
That's the whole story.
That's
story.
it.
Yeah.
You don't get to.
As soon as that happened, he was just like, "Looks like death is on my side today, Germans."
And the thing is that so he before he enlisted in the army, he was working as like he was training to be a doctor. He was Can you imagine?
God, can you imagine his bedside manner? Oh, it hurts, doctor. Suck it up. All right, you're a pretty bad bedside manner. Just slaps his fucking old severed hand he's got in formaldehyde and be like, "That, I dealt with that." Pulls up a shirt and these bullets.
When he came back from the war, he was like highly decorated. But then he ended up doing a law degree, and then that's how he got into government and stuff like that. He had a crazy life.
Yeah. So wow, Mr. Inouye.
So do you see why his story had to be told despite my rule?
Yeah.
World War II?
Yeah, for sure.
Because when I read it, I was like, this is a crazy story, and then I saw that it happened on the 21st of April, and I was like,
gotta go.
Gotta go.
Yeah, when your $2 silver stop with bullet, you gotta just do it.
And that was Today in History.
Which brings us.
Not a too high a cost for life when you think about it.
Yeah, not too bad. On to Who Let Them Near a Keyboard? So this segment is where I found reviews on the internet about, in this particular instance, more movies.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to guess what the film I'm referring to is and what film the review is describing.
Okay.
So we've played it before. I think it was a draw last time, wasn't it? Between Jonah and Saul, Val just lost.
Yeah. Classic Val move.
Classic Val move, just being the only one to lose. Mm-hmm. So we have no winners yet on this. There's no acclaimed winner. There is just one loser. So all it is for Val to redeem herself.
No, I won the game before.
Yeah, good for you. But then you lost.
No, we all drew before. Then you dropped out. We all drew.
Oh yes, that's true.
So
yeah, we don't have a winner. It's all to play for.
On with the show. The first review. Apart from the fact the cinematography is really bad, which is kind of acceptable for the time period, the movie is plain uninspiring, definitely overrated, and a complete waste of time. This offers nothing what a sci-fi is expected to deliver. Characters are, full caps now, way out of their roles, brackets, apart from the one or two main actors, close brackets, and they could not even deliver situational, and this is spelt wrong, suspense and drama.
Is it spelled like Seuss, Dr. Seuss spent?
Yeah. The build-up was unnecessary and long. I must say that it's really fantastic plot, poorly executed. Full caps now. This is not a classic. 1 out of 10. So there you go, by the way, everyone. If it's not a classic, it's 1 star. We live in a world of classic or 1-star reviews. I would formally petition all movie critics on YouTube to change their classic, their rating system to simply classic, 1 star.
It's a Sith review system.
Yeah.
You deal in absolutes.
Yeah. No middle ground. So
Either it's good or it's bad.
the options are The Thing, Alien,
Okay.
Predator.
Now there would be irony. I think I would find it amusing if someone went to all the effort of decrying Predator and saying it's not a classic, because I mean, duh. The Thing was hated when it came out. Alien was always kind of well regarded, so people might, take a hipster stand against that. I am going to be painfully obvious and say John Carpenter's The Thing.
Cool. So,
Wait, just to make sure there's no funny business, this is the original Thing.
well, there's the 1982 Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. Yeah, because obviously the original Thing was called The Thing from Outer Space and was about a vegetable man that was very upset.
And
black
then
and
the
white.
remake was about the Norwegians, but they don't speak Norwegian.
That was the 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go for Alien then.
Alien. And Val.
I would think it's. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna go for The Thing, because I think there's a lot of like tension and suspense in the film.
That's the
and
with the Alien.
no, I know, but
I
I mean,
those
there's
two
not
are very, very similar. That's the
there's
problem.
not so much drama in The Thing as there is in Alien, in the sense of like, this is a big thing and blah blah blah. Like there is moments
very,
of
very
drama. It's more based in
subtle
character.
distrust. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the final scene, I would feel like would be very dissatisfying to somebody who was already hating the film, because it would feel like all this build up kind of led nowhere.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of went for The Thing.
So, 1 point goes to Saul. It was Alien.
Really?
So apparently Alien, had no suspense and no drama, and its build-up was unnecessary and long. I personally agree with this man. I'd have much preferred that Alien started with John Hurt being like, hungry boy, blah! And there's just no build-up, and everyone's just like, what the fuck is going on?
So basically, their spaceship is going along, and then boom, they bumped into the mother queen alien in space.
And in that one scene in the kitchen, all the characters have to exposition dump the entire background in that one scene. So the alien bops and goes, an alien in space! After we went to that abandoned planet, who could have seen it? Like, that's it. And then the film just gets fucking right on it.
Ian Holmes there, like, I have ulterior motive.
I may be a robot, but I am scared.
But it's really weird because I'm thinking about Alien and The Thing. Like they are very, very similar.
Yeah.
Obviously, not when you boil them down. They that's why that review could have been any of them. I was 50.
The thing is, I thought the review most fit Predator, only because it says about how the characters are way out of their roles, which I'm a bit like, what does that even mean as a negative? Apart from the 1 or 2 main actors, but you're like, well, Alien's got such a small cast. They're kind of all quite... one thing Alien does really well is you don't really know who's going to survive unless you obviously have seen all the other films and know Sigourney Weaver. But the film alone is a microcosm, does a very good job of not telling you that she'll be the last survivor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very much like any of them could be. They all get
But
a lot of
also,
screen
it's such a
time.
non-statement to say the actors were all out of their roles except for the main ones.
Yeah.
Well, they do that a lot with horror, with the fact that obviously you either get a cast of no, I mean, was the Samuel L. Jackson shark movie? The Deep Blue.
Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah, Deep Blue Sea. The reason why they hired Samuel Jackson and killed him off was just to prove that anyone could die. That's why he basically the director was like, we need a big named actor. Let's get Samuel Jackson in. I'm gonna get him killed. And obviously another thing was he died. He died inside that building.
Yeah.
So they wanted to show that the shark could kill you anywhere. And it could kill anyone. Because Samuel Jackson, the big shark-killing badass, was the one that died.
Yeah.
Was he the first person to die?
I don't think he was the first, but he
wasn't the
certainly
first.
dies. It is his death.
I see where you're going with that, but no, he wasn't the first.
His death is the best part of that film. And also in that film, LL Cool J plays the chef.
Yeah, who almost dies in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because he hides in an oven.
Yeah, hides in an oven from a very angry
Classic
shark.
Sylvia Plath.
Because, from a very angry shark in a kitchen. Because a shark can get you anywhere.
I'm just imagining now the crime scene, the police looking over Sylvia Plath's dead body and being like,
Must have been hiding from a shark.
Do you think LL Cool J has like Samuel Jackson blackmail or something? That's why they keep ending up in films together.
I don't know.
No,
It's like, Samuel Jackson, you got to do this thing for me. What? You got to do this thing. I'll release the document.
I think maybe LL Cool J has Samuel Jackson on his rider. Like he's like, I'll only do this film if.
The thing is, the reason I picked these 3 options because I actually want to talk about what all of them I think do very, very well as films, quite unique. Which is so with the Alien film, I think as we just discussed, it does a very good job as a film of not showing who's going to live. Because say with The Thing, you kind of know Kurt Russell's the main character. But what I think The Thing does really, really well is taking the one thing that binds most horror films together, which is the idea that you should stick together, to the point where we all know the cliche in horror films, let's split up, say the characters stupidly, which always gets them killed. I mean, everyone's like, why split up? Whereas The Thing turns that on the head, where it's kind of like, you don't want to be together. Someone is one of them. The company that is the only solace these characters usually have in horror films is now turned against them. And one thing I think Predator does really well is the whole start of the film is just them macho manning around the jungle, killing all these, Spanish-American, gorillas, and being like, we're so badass! And then they all just get massacred.
Was that your Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful. No.
That's good.
And they all get massacred. They all get massacred by this thing in the trees.
Thing in the trees!
If I'm not mistaken, The Thing's also the only film on that list that doesn't have any kind of like sexualization of any of the characters.
It's talking about Kurt Russell
Things-
getting wankered and just just...
I don't know, the Thing's pretty piff, through
Yeah,
its
it's
tentacles.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there's a Rule 34 for The Thing, but I'm just saying.
Kurt Russell and the Thing Rule 34.
Yeah. Assimilate me, baby.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, there's the only female character in the entire film is technically the chess computer program because it's voiced by John Carpenter's then wife. There you go.
Stop being his wife after the film? Or?
Yeah, she said, when you said I was going to be in your film, it would be a fucking chess computer. But yeah, so
Checkmate, bitch.
on to the next film review. Sorry, folks, but this movie is a C movie and not an A. So already
So it's
relegated.
Deep Blue Sea.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, because obviously we talk about B movies being shite. So this guy wants to just take it right off the list and put it up there with like that
Charlie's
terrible...
Angels. And
Yeah, I can't believe that people like this movie so much.
yes. Sorry.
I can't believe that people like this movie so much. Yes, I am biased, and I really don't like the actor. So at least he's honest, or she. But this has made he has made a decent movie or two, but this ain't one of them. This is your basic movie. What can I say? It has the host of usual characters. The storyline is basic. The outcome, I won't say, but it's just stupid to say that this is a great movie. I think it was realistic at all. And anybody who falls for this crap is either delusional or needs some brains to differentiate. To differentiate between... Sorry, they mangled the spelling of that. Differentiate between Edsel and Lamborghini. I wouldn't watch this movie again unless I was paid to do so. One viewing is enough for this predictable lachert. He's trying to put laughter, but he's missed the lach. Mr. T. One out of 10.
Is that what you're rating that review?
Yes, but I'm giving. Here are the films, right? So you've heard the review.
Yeah.
Now pick from these 3 bad boys: Shawshank Redemption, Forrest Gump, Good Will Hunting.
Forrest Gump.
Why? You refuse to believe that anybody would say that on Good Will Hunting or Shawshank?
No, I decided Forrest Gump. I think Forrest.
Maybe.
I think.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe someone doesn't like Matt Damon.
Sorry.
Exactly, but that's really.
It
But
crept to my head too.
Yeah, exactly. You've got. I wouldn't say that about Shawshank. He's made some good movies.
They're talking about a principal actor. Shawshank has 2 main characters.
Yeah, who have both done good movies. Then you also have
Matt Damon hadn't made many good films, but that review isn't necessarily given at the time that the film was released.
Yeah.
Are they fucking talking about Robin Williams?
Val, calm, just chill.
Calm down, Val.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Good Will Hunting.
Because he's not the main character of Good Will Hunting.
So Forrest Gump, Good Will Hunting.
Good Will fucking Hunting.
It was Shawshank Redemption.
Oh,
The actor in question was Tim Robbins. And I was like, what did Tim Robbins do to upset this person?
yeah.
Tim Robbins!
I've
Fuck
never-
Tim Robbins!
In particular, I just
Yeah.
don't like his
He has a-
acting.
He has a really nice sounding
Also,
name.
that whole bit with, like, predictable laughter. I'm like, what about Shawshank is supposed to be funny to you?
Prison rape.
Prison rape. Oh my god, yeah.
Shit pipes.
Corruption within our institutional correctional facilities. Fuck!
As if the US of A would allow, as if Uncle Sam would allow such.
Yeah, such nonsense! So anyway, that was... So yeah, I thought that was mental, that review.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still angry even though they weren't talking about Robin Williams. The idea that somebody could hate him.
No, I would
I never
thought...
it's out there, believe me, but I'm not gonna put you through that just yet. I will, however, put you through ching an intellectual's opinion on a certain film.
Ooh.
This film plays very much like its subject matter, described so aptly by Freud. On your first viewing, you will quite possibly only grasp just a fraction of its complexity. But the brilliance of what this reviewer proclaims as his masterpiece lies now in how engaging it is. Even though you cannot quite fully comprehend what the director is trying to say.
It's Inception. It's going to
Indeed.
be Inception.
It may take multiple
Fucking
viewings for one to absorb the complexity of this audacious new creation that dares to tackle a dense and intricate subject. Your
Gone with the-
options are
Is it Gone with the Wind?
Avatar, Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald, and Inception.
I heard my gut instinct. Inception.
The thing is that Harry Potter fans, like, as somebody who once had a Tumblr account, I know how people get about films and scenes. So I'm very torn between Avatar and Fantastic Beasts to find them.
Yeah.
Go you go.
Oh, by the way, that review was 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
was
yeah,
it?
Yeah.
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 I'm gonna go.
Freud approved.
What was the? What he didn't quote Freud. He said aptly.
I do distinctly remember that bit where Leonardo DiCaprio was showing Ellen Page his dreams. It was him fucking his own mother. He went, "Ignore that."
But don't worry, the top is spinning. It's a dream.
Thomas Speed's a dream, but God, it's hot.
I'm gonna go with my gut.
Is that some like undiscussed canon that Marion Cotillard is
This is actually his own mother, yeah.
I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna go for Avatar. That's what I was thinking of. I hate Avatar, and there are loads of people that really fucking loved it when it came out. So that's what I'm gonna go for.
I'm going to go for Inception.
Inception. Points for Inception.
Yeah.
Inception.
That means Saul is winning.
Saul's winning. Ready for the next one? Totally sickening. No redeeming value to the human condition. Why not study the uplifting people in the world instead of getting a view through the eyes of the most degenerate, disgusting, and completely perverted few?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
The more glimpses they show into the lives of the debased people of the world, the more debased our world becomes.
Slumdog Millionaire.
1 out of 10.
Churchill. And the Stephen Hawkins movie.
Your options are Dumbo,
Fucking elephants, man. Scum.
Fucking big-eared bastard. Why do we? Why all these lovely people in the world? Why do we have to follow an alcoholic elephant?
Can.
What are the other options?
Silence of the Lambs,
Okay.
Schindler's List.
No. It's gotta.
For the meme, Schindler's List. Review by an A. Hortler.
I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for Silence of the Lambs.
It was Silence.
Really, though it wasn't a thinly veiled anti-Semitic diatribe.
Why
thing is, to
why
be
are we not
fair-
following all the lovely people in the world, like Goebbels?
I am gonna admit this to you guys right now. The correct answer will probably never be Schindler's List, because any negative review of Schindler's List is literally just so anti-Semitic, but like trying to dance around the subject, being like, I think we've talked rather enough about this, don't you? 1 star. Yeah, it's bad. Right, are you ready for this last one? This is a 1-star review. I found this amusing for about no minutes whatsoever.
Got him. Wow. For no minute.
Bam!
At least, so at
Curb
most,
your enthusiasm, director.
at most 59 seconds of
Yeah.
enjoyment.
And the beep beep watch went off. I'm bored.
They know that the credits are never the most interesting part of the film, right?
This movie has franchise written all over it.
Please tell me there's only one film.
Are we ready for the dolls? The Burger King cups? Heck yes, obviously. Let's reduce all our imagination to cheap commodities, sell our children on an open market, and let business ethics only apply. The story is soporific, the dialogue cliché, the characters banal, the message simpering wimpy crap only suited for a sadomasochist on a hangover, which I imagine, may I add,
Pretty dark
wimpy
shit.
crap and a sadomasochist on a hangover don't really, their spheres of interest don't usually overlap, in my opinion. Do you mean, I'm a sadomasochist. I like being left alone.
Maybe
Gaudy
just likes
bit.
retro fast food.
Gaudy bit of CGI fluff pretending to be a classic, only in the dreams of the cynical and the dead. 1 out of 10.
People are so angry on the internet.
Your reviews are Avengers Assemble, Toy Story, Wall-E.
Toy Story.
You got
Yeah, I want to say Toy Story. I have a feeling it's gonna be Toy Story because the thing is, Marvel's Assemble. There was already Marvel movies, so Marvel's already had franchise.
I want to go for Wall-E.
It was indeed Toy Story.
Okay,
Which was even better by the fact that review was left in 2018.
what do you mean?
And I'm like, it is a franchise!
No, but what do you mean? Why was it?
This movie's got franchise written all over it because I've already seen 1, 2 and 3 out there.
It was like, I mean, for a good example, my Woody doll is literally over there, and I got that when the movie first came out.
Yeah.
Like, that...
Someone watched that in 2018 and was like, oh, we need to stop this shit from ever taking off.
Wait, how old are you now, Jonah?
22.
Yeah, that doll's older than Jonah.
Yeah, Toy Story's older than Jonah.
I thought I got out from underneath things that you guys owned that I was.
No, my
younger
Woody
than.
doll is older than
Oh my
you.
god, I used to be such
And that won't die.
Hey, wait,
Yeah, it won't. It's going to be there forever.
So anyway, the winner by a handy margin is Saul with 4 points. So Saul,
Congratulations.
One.
On a winning streak of sorts.
yeah? So
In
that-
multiple events.
Yeah.
No, I lost first facts last time.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
I was the only one that you two drew on finished facts.
So, I was so inspired by your space stories from last episode that I thought that we need to delve deep into the world of piracy cons in space.
The only place untainted by capitalism.
Capitalism.
And the New World Order. Or is it? Today we'll be talking about the Nibiru Cataclysm, which was a disastrous encounter between the Earth and a large planetary object that certain groups believed would take place in the early 21st century. In fact,
It did!
If you're listening to this podcast,
How?
how? We're all dead.
The universe
let
balanced
us
us out.
know at
At gmail.com.
How are you listening to this? It doesn't exist. So, if I'm not mistaken, in 2017, it was actually predicted that this event was going to occur on the 23rd of April. So we've got, in 2 days, we've got a 2-year anniversary for this.
Of our total annihilation.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, so people were like, okay, on this, did they have a planetary body lined up that we were going to collide with, or was it, it's going to decloak?
So believers in this, the believers in this doomsday event usually referred to this object that was going to collide with Earth as Nibiru or Planet X. The idea was first put forward in 1995, the best year. That was the year I was born, by Nancy Leader, founder of the website Zeta Talk.
So, Nancy Leader. Mm-hmm. That sounds like a Nazi in hiding. Do you go, who's the leader of your organisation? Nancy Leader? It sounds a little bit like Nazi Leader. I can't hear. I'm not the only one who's hearing
No, you,
that, right?
James,
Nancy Leader.
I'm happy that your head's there because this is piracy con time. So you really need to be suspicious of every bit of information.
Fake
Nazi
name.
moon base. That's why they built it.
So who is Nancy Leader, and why did she put this idea in people's heads? Because this was picked up by a lot of publications. There were a lot of people that actually genuinely believed this and contacted scientists that work for NASA and other space.
Like, yo, spotted any planets heading our way? It's like, no, we would know.
No. They would contact these people and be like, "Do you think we should commit suicide now,
Yes.
rather than wait?"
If you believe that the planet is going to
Decloak, yeah.
Yeah, if you think that
Reminds me of
another
that-
planet that we haven't seen is going to collide with Earth, yes, commit suicide now.
Do you know? It just reminds me of.
All right, Saul, low-key
Do you remember that
eugenicist.
Sorry.
Maybe you're Nancy Leader.
Do you remember that scene from Bruce Almighty when he goes, "Reply to all, yes." That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good movie.
So
We
you
would
still just
see it
send.
coming.
Still just replies to the email of the Wikipedia article on
How
the WikiHow article on how to tie a noose knot.
No, but I still know how. But the whole point that I'm making is the fact that you at night we can see planets, we can see Mars, we can see Venus. So
The idea is that chemtrails have been
Hidden
used.
the planet?
Spoilers.
Sorry, but I mean, honestly, this theory is so all over the place because there's so many people that have pitched in and basically tried to
Oh,
defend
it's done
some parts.
the
but-
the conspiracy dog pile that happens, like
Yeah.
on Ancient Aliens, where you've just got 6 people with 6 different opinions,
Yeah, but they're all
tearing
kind
in different directions,
yeah,
trying
and
to
you're like,
explain
what are
it.
you
yeah.
actually saying? What's this thing? So let's start from the heart of this theory. Nancy Leader and her website called Zeta Talk. So the idea of the Nibiru encounter originated with Nancy. She's a woman from Wisconsin that claims that as a girl she was contacted by grey extraterrestrials called Zetas, who implanted a communications device in her brain. In '95, she
They
found...
called it a tumor.
They all wore white coats and made Mum and Dad very sad. They'd always take her to a strange fluorescent spaceship with lots of dead people in.
yeah, the aliens once told me to make a wish.
And then I saw a man dressed as the American flag with a shield come in to greet me.
Now we're officially mocking children with brain tumours. Welcome to the late shift.
Yeah.
And I'm not
I
even
called them
sorry.
Zetans, even though he told me his name was Cry-Ass Evans.
Okay, so in 1995, she opened a website called Zeta Talk, where she basically disseminated her ideas. So
In the 1990s?
yeah,
How do people find it then? There's no like real Google. Do you mean someone just typed in Zeta Talk? Oh wow, someone's got ideas.
so she first kind of came to public attention around the time of the comet Hale-Bopp. Okay, basically when the Hale-Bopp comet was going over in '97, Leader's blog, if you will, came to attention because she stated that after speaking with the Zetas, that the Hale-Bopp comet doesn't exist. It is a fraud perpetrated by those who would have teeming masses quiescent until it is too late. Hale-Bopp is nothing more than a distant star and will draw no closer. She claimed that the Hale-Bopp story was manufactured to distract people from the imminent arrival of a large planetary object, Planet X, which would soon pass by Earth and destroy civilization.
Why would you want people stargazing before your giant sneaker ship planet is attacking? Why would you think about it, you're an evil government body like, oh fuck, that is a planet. Look at it, it's coming right at us.
The whole idea, James, is the fact that if you are looking at the sky, you look at the other part of the sky,
Yeah.
not where the hidden
Oh, so-
Planet X is about to collide with Earth.
what, like the Hale-Bopp
The
comments
fucking
over
bullet
here.
bill coming straight from planet Earth, like.
Hale-Bopp comments, they're like, cooey, and the exact opposite bit of space, there is a planet.
Yeah.
So-
just creeping up on Earth.
In this, anywhere, does it say the size of Planet X?
Yeah, I'm about to get
Okay,
to it. a bit
that's
of
what
it.
that's what
So obviously, so
juicy bit.
she says Hale-Bopp's the Hale-Bopp comet doesn't exist. Surprisingly enough, it exists, and it's one of the brightest and longest observed comets of the last century. Leader then went to her website and removed the first 2 sentences of her initial statement from her website, basically stating that the comet doesn't exist, although they can still be found using Google's archives.
To be fair, good for her, may I add, that unlike most conspiracy theorists, it only took her 2 sentences to undo her claim. Because most of them have, it would take them 10 years to get through their
lifetime,
manifesto
yeah.
and Tipex out that bit.
So Planet X is described as roughly 4 times the size of Earth,
Fuck me.
and said that its closest approach. She said on the website its closest approach should occur on May 27th, 2003.
That big though. I'm just saying the fact that like 4 times the size of Earth. Earth isn't that big. Think like
yeah,
Jupiter.
but we can see
Yeah, but think
Mars.
about-
and
Yeah,
that's
yeah, but
smaller.
yeah. Think
Yeah,
about
but Mars is close.
Yeah, but
closer
think
compared
about
to
our planet 4 times the size of Earth creeping through our solar system directly towards Earth, like.
But that's the thing. We would see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
unless
saying.
it's close.
So she believed that it would result in the Earth's rotation ceasing for exactly 5.9 terrestrial days. This would be followed by the Earth's pole destabilizing in a pole shift, a physical pole shift,
so much worse would happen if the Earth stopped moving.
Yeah.
rather than a
We'd all get
geomagnetic
whiplash for a
reversal.
start.
Caused
Yes.
So the magnetic.
Serious?
But yeah, if Earth stopped because we were all travelling, we were orbiting. Well, we were spinning.
Would I vaporise against the
We were
wall?
revolving at 900 miles an hour. So basically, imagine if it just suddenly stopped. You'd 900 miles an hour move in a direction.
Oh my god.
Everyone would be dead. That's the thing. It's not the fact that all know the axis would be destabilised. Everyone would be missed.
Those fucking Zetans, they're like, friends, our plan to turn the Homo sapiens into slushy has succeeded.
Slap up, boys!
It's just like
So she's in a
Mine's
helmet.
elephant!
but that is the least of our worries if the
Yeah.
planet suddenly
Oh, God.
stopped moving.
Yeah, it's like already Finn.
So she says that there's. So basically, she says that there was going to be a pole shift, a physical pole shift, not
Doesn't matter,
a shift of
everyone's dead.
geomagnetic poles.
Oh, not the gym.
So wait,
like,
so-
we have pole shifts all the time.
Yeah,
Well,
what
not all the time,
what
but-
she's describing is Earth comes screeching to a halt.
Everyone
Yeah.
dies.
Well, no, let's say not everyone's dead. She hasn't mentioned anything. Everyone, braces for impact. Who knows what happens? Then we have a magnetic pole shift, and then Earth will literally flip 180 to physically pole shift. So why is it stopped and just gone alley up and just rolled over? Like
In submission to Planet X.
what? It gives it Antarctica. Like please come down, big 4 times boy.
But
Now I have the image that planet Earth can only gets fucked in Antarctica. You pull on the Arctic and you fuck Antarctica.
did you say that there would be a pole switch?
Yeah.
But did you say specify that it was a magnetic or a physical?
No, there's a pole switch and a
So
physical
she
pole
says
switch.
physical pole shift.
Comes after the first.
No.
pole switch.
Sorry, hold on. This would be followed by the Earth's pole destabilizing in a pole shift, a physical pole shift, with the Earth's pole physically moving rather than a geomagnetic reversal caused by magnetic attraction between Earth's core, nice attraction, getting fucked in
Wait.
and the magnetism of the passing planet. This in turn would disrupt the Earth's magnetic core and lead to the subsequent displacement of the Earth's crust. After the 2003 date passed without incident, leaders said that it was merely a white lie to fool the establishment. She refused to disclose a true date, saying that to do so would give those in power
chance
enough
to
time
stop
to
the
declare
planet.
martial law and trap people in cities during the shift, leading to their deaths.
Opposed to her plan, which is to not tell anyone what's going down, so everyone just remains in the cities and dies.
Yeah,
But doing the
as
government's work for them.
But the thing is, so the planet stops and everyone suddenly moves 900 miles an hour into a direction. The people that somehow survived, then
The guy works in the pillow factory.
yeah. Then
Or who were on bouncy castles at the time. You
Yeah.
watch someday all the bouncy castles going to be confiscated by the government.
You're
It's
telling
part
me
of martial
there's
law.
a post-apocalyptic world where only the 5-year-olds survive the great cataclysm.
and the adult children.
But
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying. The fact that so it suddenly stops, and somehow someone survives. Then there's a physical swap.
Yeah, a
So
physical swap.
then the planet must then very rapidly
that's
flip.
That's what
so
I was
then
saying.
again, everyone's
Presenting
dying.
it-
The
presenting-
people that survived the first sudden stop now just got hit by everything now moving quickly.
Okay.
Oh,
But I love the hustle
Australia
of being...
would be the right way up.
I love the hustle of being like, I lied because it was to fool the establishment. Like, how fucking sick is she? Like,
No, because they all say that. They
No.
all say something like Jehovah's Witnesses. People forget this predicted the end of the world in like 2002. Didn't happen.
No,
And
but-
they were like, see, the thing is, God, press snooze on the old apocalypse.
No.
Like,
No. But that implies that they a lot of people who propose these things, they will say like, they will come up with a bullshit reason as to why it didn't, like the world didn't end, or they will pretend that they never predicted the world was going to end on that time and they were being metaphorical. She acknowledges the fact that she said 2003, May 27th, and that it was a lie, it was part of a plan this whole time.
To be honest, if we're going to have an apocalypse, that's the apocalypse I would like. Where everyone dies at the exact same time, but it just suddenly turn to mush.
I only want to die on the year 2069. That's the age I want humanity
Not
to
that
go
far,
out.
James.
No, I just want it for the goof. So the aliens
no
can
one's
find us on
gonna
the
be
planet
around
like...
to
Why not wait
Yeah,
till 69,
They won't
69?
get it. They won't get it, yeah. 69, 69, and it will just be like the last remnants of our future generations will just be lol. And the aliens won't get it.
Yeah, but especially because if the aliens were to try and understand how we measured time, they probably wouldn't arrive at 2069.
No, we write on a plaque.
Yeah.
We just write 6969 lol, here lies human race.
You had Marcus Aurelius being like, I've got an idea, guys. 420, everyone dies.
Okay, but so Lita kind of realizes that maybe she doesn't have enough imagination for this shit, and that this is a point where
Not enough imagination.
not enough. The chip in her brain, it's losing connection. She's having connectivity problems.
Yeah.
They're talking about cutting it out.
Yeah.
They say it's for her own good. It's a government plot.
Well, I think just old Cryas Evans stopped visiting her because she grew too old.
Okay, so
You don't get more than one wish.
Supposed to die.
so
Now that's a grim phone call I want to hear.
at some point following her prediction that didn't come true, there was a book that was written by Zecharia Sitchin called The 12th Planet. And according to
I've heard of this
Sitchin's
book.
interpretation of ancient Mesopotamian religious texts, which contradicts the conclusions...
Stinks of ancient aliens. And
Oh,
ancient
you know it!
Mesopotamian religious
Mesopotamia.
texts.
Underneath Nebuchadnezzar's robe, we found Planet X.
So she's been calling it Planet X this whole time. Zecharia Sitchin...
He's actually calling it Planet XII.
No, he's
No,
calling
it's called Planet Zacharias.
He's
and
calling
then just
it-
telling her to fuck off.
So he's saying... So basically, his interpretation of ancient Mesopotamian religious texts...
Oh,
Which-
say it again.
Ancient Mesopotamian religious texts...
Hammurabi!
Hold on, no.
Oh, Val, please,
Joe-
I'm getting all flustered.
Okay, Jono, the sentence gets better and better, sorry. According to Sitchin's interpretation of ancient Mesopotamian religious texts, which contradicts conclusions reached by all credited scholars of Mesopotamian history,
Oh, I'll give
a
it to you.
giant planet called Nibiru, or Marduk, passes by Earth every 3,600 years,
Marmaduke is going to kill us all.
allowing its sentient inhabitants to interact with humanity. So, okay, he's added an extra layer on this. So his interpretation of Mesopotamian religious texts that
There is a god called
completely
Marduk.
Is planetary dogging. Is that a planet will come drive into our dogging site in the solar system and just give us an old pass by?
So, despite the fact that this completely, as I said, this completely contradicts anything that was written by actual scholars.
No,
of
you
the-
mean, to quote Ancient Aliens, because down the rabbit hole, mainstream scientists, as
Yeah,
they so
exactly.
obviously have to stay every time.
So every 3,600 years, Sitchin is basically suggesting that there are beings that live on this planet. I'm going to call it Nibiru because that's what this theory is called. It's called the Nibiru Cataclysm. They pass by us and they interact with us because they're sentient. They interact with us. Sitchin.
It's like, those movies where you have the people driving along and then you get like the spring break girls in the car next to
yeah,
you,
yeah.
going flashing.
Where
They're driving off.
they go? Oh, what's it called? Naibu or something?
Nibiru.
Oh man, I love the quadratic girls. Planet Naibu.
Nibiru!
Nibiru, alright.
Okay, and so basically Sitchin's idea was that these beings that live on this planet,
Flash us, but with their knowledge.
he identified these beings as being, he basically claimed that these beings were humanity's first gods because of the connections that he was drawing from Anunnaki in Sumerian mythology.
He says that there's that image of the old Mesopotamians pointing to a big planet on the sky. The hieroglyph then zooms into a load of spring break girls showing them the top, and then like a frothing bearded man decreeing them as gods. And then them all looking really tragically as the planet soars off again. Planet Party just takes off into the
Guys,
fucking nether.
This is so sad. So this is so fucking sad. Like, put some F's in the chat for this. So Lida then made connections between Nibiru and her planet X on her site in '96. So in '95 she built a site. She starts talking about fucking how Planet X and Planet X is the thing that's gonna kill us, not the comet. So she's like, she posts, Planet X does exist and it is the 12th planet, one and the same. Sitchin, who died in 2010, denied any connection between his work and Lida's claims. In fact, in 2007, partly in response to Lida's proclamation, Sitchin published a book called The End of Days, which he set the time for the last passing of Nibiru by Earth as at 556 BC, which would mean, given the object's supposed 3,600 year orbit, that it would return sometime around 2,900 AD. So he fucking hated her so much that just before he died, he published a book that was like, this is not the same thing, and it's gonna come way later, you fucking bitch. He did say that he believed that the Anunnaki might return earlier by spaceship, so the Nibiru sexy girls are going to come in a little bit earlier.
You mean Planet Party's going mobile? That's a sequel, baby.
So going mobile.
Yeah.
Sounds more like an app.
So although Lida herself hasn't actually specified a new date for the object's return because she hates all of us and just wants to keep tricking the government, I think you guys will remember in 2012 there was that whole thing about how the world is going to end on the 21st of December because of the Mayan calendar.
Yep.
Let me just guess. Just pause. In comes Lida. Roly-polying through the window like Planet X, baby.
So in 2012, I'm sorry, this is so fun. So in 2012, Lida claimed that US President Barack Obama
was Planet X.
attempted
In disguise.
No, he's a quarter-tip woman in hiding.
He's from Planet Party! I am not from Planet Party. These pokey nipples are nothing.
She claimed that President Barack Obama attempted to announce the presence of Nibiru near the sun, and after 2012 she claimed
What do you mean
that
attempted? You sound like, everyone noticed that planet on the sun, just a guy decks him. Just everyone's son. Don't tell him about the titty planet. Don't tell him about the titty planet. It's for us. It's for the government.
Okay, so Lida's out here like trying to make connections, trying to stay relevant.
That's why Bush went into Iraq. 'Cause ancient Mesopotamia, military base on top of Babylon, research site in the military base, quadratits.
Okay, so we
found them. They found like a mummified remains of one of the party girls.
So we love
A fossilized red cup, like.
So we love our leader. She's cute, you know. She's out here. She's trying to make connections. She's trying to connect
glorious.
to every. She's being ignored by everyone. Meanwhile,
Barack Obama tweets her. I believe
2017, which is when this theory re-emerged again, and it was thanks to none other than a Christian numerologist,
Oh, they're the best.
David Mead, who revived the Nibiru cataclysm by tying it to various passages from the Bible. The thing that really pisses me off about these theories...
Love thy neighbour. Love Party Planet when it comes past, because you get to see them.
is the fact that, like, in the brief time that I've been talking to you about just some of the key people in this Nibiru cataclysm theory, is the fact that, like, they try and link it to so many different ideologies that, like, a lot of people kind of disagree with. So, like, Mesopotamian literature, Mayans, like, loads of, like, now Christianity, like, all this random
it's this giant
stuff.
planet. Everybody. The best thing about Planet Party, Val, is the fact that everybody gets a piece because it comes right over us. Everyone just gets to see from their own angle. All these early cults get look up and go, fucking yeah.
But they didn't turn to mush, presumably.
Pardon?
Yeah, because
They
everyone
intend to
dies.
Yeah, because everyone. No, yeah.
Basically...
No, she was lying about the whole everyone dies thing.
Yeah, she just wants us all to
She wants
die.
the government to panic, declare martial law, or not let them declare martial law, so that everyone's out the streets when they see Planet Party, because otherwise the government would have all the hot alien sex for themselves. She's trying to get us
It's
aliens.
to
on
stop
our
people.
side.
It's to stop
She's-
people
yeah.
monetizing it.
Exactly. Because someone's going to have a shuttle to Planet Party, and he's going to charge all kinds of things.
Because okay, let's think...
Planet Party, Planet X, Planet
Ecstasy.
X. Planet Sex.
No, I thought you meant like the Ice Cube movies.
No, not like the Ice Cube movies, who's in only one of 3. The others are Vin Diesel. You've taken the Ice Cube centre out of the Vin Diesel sandwich.
Okay, hold on. So, Lida's basically said in her fake prediction that the the world was basically going to stop, turn around on its get into the doggy
Present
position,
its arse, for Planet
get rammed
Party.
for Planet Party. However, David Meade had other plans. So David Meade says, started tying it to, as I said, various passages in the Bible, and declared that these passages contained secret numerological codes which revealed the exact date on which Nibiru would arrive. He also based his predictions on the geometry of the Giza pyramids. Because, of course, if it's
Nice
not got
combo.
anything to
But
do
but
with
this is
Egypt, then get out.
But this is a Christian man. Oh no, this is a different theory. Okay, so no, sorry. I'm just.
No,
gonna
he's
give
a
you-
Christian
He's a
Yeah,
Christian
numerologist.
numerologist
Yeah, no,
that's using
because-
passages from the Bible, but also the Giza pyramids.
No, it's because I was getting confused between Nancy Leader's theory and that the Mesopotamian person, because he was the one that said that they were the original gods. Because I was thinking it'd be really weird for a Christian to be like, I believe in God, and also these planets that are gods.
Well, I think it's all well and good saying you're Christian until you see, the hieroglyphs of the girls of Planet Party.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying that's temptation on
you
on an
cannot-
intergalactic level.
You cannot be a Christian and believe in an almighty God, as well as believing that our gods were also travelling on a planet that appears every so often.
No,
Looks
you
like
can
heaven to
believe though that there is one God, and He sends us the godly puss of Planet Party every cycle.
That's
You can
true.
believe that.
So Meade predicted that Nibiru would arrive on October 2017, but he later revised the date back to 23rd of September. The specific focus of his prediction revolved around a solar event that is called a Woman of Apocalypse. A Woman of the Apocalypse, referring to a supposedly unique configuration on that date of the sun, the moon, and the planets in Virgo. He cited the solar eclipse on August 21st, 2017 as a harbinger of the events to come. And his claims received extensive media attention. I mean, obviously, there's loads of viral news websites that were eating that shit up because nothing gets people excited like the end of the world. Some of these websites even adduced some non-existent confirmations by NASA of Nibiru's existence on a course headed straight for Earth and all this shit. In reality, NASA's position is, and always has been, that Nibiru does not exist.
What? Yeah, but that's just NASA denying
But
the titty women.
so Meade's claims get picked up by all of these news websites, and that means that fellow Christians have gathered and they want to attack Meade because they don't believe what he's saying is true. In fact, one of them, Ed Stetzer, this guy Ed, who's a
Ed,
Christian.
the old Ed the Christian.
You know.
As you'd call him in the Viking town.
Ed Stetzer, writing for Christianity Today, stated, "There is no such thing as a Christian numerologist," and described Meade as a made-up expert in a made-up field talking about a made-up event.
Sounds like me. That's what I just said. There's no way you could be a Christian.
Christopher M. Graney, a professor at the Vatican Observatory Foundation, noted that the supposedly unique event was in fact also quite common, this Woman of the Apocalypse.
It was the Big Dipper, as we
Says
say.
that this phenomenon is actually quite common, having occurred 4 times in the last millennium. And so after his predictions failed to come true, Meade revised them and declared that Nibiru would arrive on the 5th of October 2017, not the 23rd of September. Meade announced that on 5th of October, Nibiru would eclipse the sun, and North Korea, China and Russia would launch a combined nuclear attack on the United States. Then, the Earth would be devastated by a series of magnitude 9.8 earthquakes. The Earth's magnetic pole would shift by 30 degrees, the United States would be split in half, and Barack Obama would be elected president for an unconstitutional 3rd term.
What an end! What a horrific end! I love the fact that it's the world's about to end because planet fuck you is coming hurtling at us, and Russia and China were like, well,
And North Korea.
and North Korea.
Well, we were ignoring North Korea because we've seen their nuclear weapons.
Yeah, I just love the idea of
Did they even have...
No, I love the idea though of this
no,
this
they
scene
didn't.
from orbit of all of the Russians and the Chinese firing their nukes, and then just zooming over to North Korea and seeing just one
Contribution.
But my point is that I love the idea that in all of this hellfire, so
The worst thing that could
worst
happen.
thing happened, this planet is hurtling at us. China, Russia, North Korea, like, now's our chance, boys, because only this event would allow us to sneak attack America. Because, by God, if we're all going to die, let's make sure America dies first. Then, after being ravaged by nuclear bombs, America split in two.
9.8 magnitude earthquake.
Splits in two.
They still have time to hold an election.
And they're all like, one more term for Barack Obama, who's like, I can salvage this, I can turn it around. We are still driving half a country.
I love this.
I love how it just, with these conspiracy theories, like how long before Barack Obama gets... Because you know what the best thing about it is? Where's the apologies? He's not in office anymore. Where are the fucking apologies that he's not the Antichrist? Because he clearly wasn't.
He's going to run again.
He's going to run again for the third unconstitutional term.
Well,
that will be the end of the term.
He's allowed unconsecutive terms, I believe.
But you know what I'm trying to say? Do you remember the amount of, like, fucking, just basically racist hate that he got, calling him the Antichrist? All these people haven't gone, yeah, well, clearly we were wrong. Like, he wasn't elected for a third term, he didn't eat a baby live on stage.
No, the thing is, James, he is the Antichrist, but righteous Christians triumphed and weren't fooled.
That's true.
Which is, of course, how the Antichrist is described in that Christian book, the Bible.
That Christian book.
Yeah.
Christian Mingle.
I hear they have other ones, I just haven't read them.
Okay. It sounds ridiculous, though. Like,
But look up.
It sounds ridiculous. It is compared to the episode that we did on the same day last year, and we were talking about the Marconi murders. This is fucking bollocks.
Last year was also the robot giraffes for nuclear weapons.
Yeah, but also Marconi murders. I feel like the last time we were talking about piracy cons, it was semi-believable. There was, like, actual evidence here. Whereas the, like, Nibiru cataclysm is just crazy, and I can't believe it was ever a problem. I can't believe people ever cared about this. But apparently it was so bad that in 2008, so the impact of the public fear of the Nibiru cataclysm has been especially felt by professional astronomers. And in 2008, Mike Brown said that Nibiru was the most common pseudoscientific topic he was asked about. So for instance, before his retirement after 2012, David Morrison, director of the SETI Institute, CSI fellow and senior scientist at NASA's Astrobiology Institute at Ames Research Center, said that he received 20 to 25 emails a week about the impending arrival of Nibiru, some frightened, others angry and naming him as part of the conspiracy to keep the truth of the impending apocalypse from the public, and still others asking whether they should kill themselves, their children or their pets. And half of these emails were from outside the US. So somebody was so concerned about the fact that Barack Obama was going to take over for a third unconstitutional
They wanted to kill their
term. They wanted
goldfish.
to kill themselves, even though they're not in America.
Sorry, Bubbles, just put your toaster in, but I'm no third term for Barack. No, I don't want you to see this world.
In a similar vein, Professor Brian Cox tweeted in 2012 that if anyone
It's
else...
coming, in full caps. Caused the right shitstorm.
He tweeted in 2012, he said, if anyone else asks me about Nibiru, the imaginary bullshit planet, I will slap them around their irrational heads with Newton's Principia. What fucking pretentious shit to say. Fuck you, Brian Cox. But
Maybe
do you
not in
think this
America.
tweet is fucking shit?
There's a bit.
Come on, it's a bit like...
It's a
I'm
bit deGrasse
smart.
Tyson.
Yeah.
It is. So,
But it's not. Guys, everyone is on your side. We understand that these guys are morons. You don't need to fight that battle.
Yeah, you
they
don't
are
need
fighting
to-
the battle amongst themselves.
Literally
and
just put a tweet being like,
Flat Earth's cool, right?
yeah, being like, why stop at flat Earth? Why not say Earth is a discus that was held by the sexiest beefcake in the cosmos? Like, no!
just to finish up this story, Nibiru actually made a cameo appearance in the 2013...
In the solar system.
Oh yeah. I remember that episode of Friends.
No.
Joey, what's that? It's a 12th planet.
Nibiru...
Bum 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 bum. Just looking outside the coffee shop.
It's them all just getting turned to jam as the planet just inverts violently.
Nibiru was in Star Trek Into Darkness, the 2013 Star Trek film, which again just proves how shit Star Trek is.
Alright, end on that note. Bye, everyone.
No, we're not gonna do a null
Again.
outro again.
Okay, but in all seriousness, Star Trek, don't upset the Trekkies. There are like 6 of them left fighting for their their fandom to not implode after Netflix got hold of it.
I'm just being, I don't know, I feel like I'm so aggressive against Trekkies because it's only recently that I've become a fan of Star Wars in earnest, because it was like only like over the last couple of years that I've actually like watched the films properly and enjoyed them. So I've
And
become...
unlike Star Trek, Star Wars is still good.
And no, I was gonna say, and like, I feel like just like it's almost as if to earn my place within the
You're
fandom.
like an evangelicalist Christian, a born again Christian,
exactly.
fanatical.
I'm just getting really angry.
You can like both.
If you're into shit,
Bye!
throw the whole
So
fucking genre out.
What do you guys think about the Nibiru Cataclysm?
Do I
think it's
believe
gonna-
it?
Do you think it's happening? Do you
Yeah,
think it's coming?
I think it's coming.
Do you think Planet X is coming?
Yeah,
I think
can't wait.
Planet Party's
just so I
coming.
can see Obama run again.
Yeah. 4 more years. 4 more years. Half a country. 4 more years.
Oh,
Is that when the country splits? Is it going to be along the Mason-Dixon line?
Yeah.
I really want to know
Now,
what
here's a
Nancy's
question
up
for you.
to at the moment. I'm gonna
Would
go.
those conspiracy theorists be happy that Obama gets control of the North if the North splits off from the South and they get to sail off and be their own little country? Would that be a win to them or a bad one?
It depends whether California comes with them or not.
Oh god, Zeta Talk is still up.
Maybe she'll try and rope in Planet X to the late shift because we mentioned it. Because she seems so eager to do a, what's it called? A featuring. Collab, that's it.
Are we going to endorse her theory then?
no.
Yeah, we are. Planet Pie. I'm all up for Planet Pie coming past. I want to get fucking
Oh, yeah,
spring
that's
bait
true.
flash
Yes.
titties by a group of
Nothing
aliens.
is more poisonous than a late shift endorsement.
Yeah.
If you want to be taken seriously, we're not the ones to call.
You made the right choice, Billy Piper. You fucking bitch.
I'm leaving that in.
So to make do with Sean Wallace, I suppose.
Oh, Sean.
Sweet, sweet man.
So,
very
if
sweet.
you're interested in Nancy's opinions, her website.
We're not.
Her website is still up, and she does regular Q&As from her and the Zetas. So if you want to know her
Are you
thoughts
still
on
alive?
Assange's
And
arrest,
If so, why?
or if you want to hear Julian Assange's arrest.
Yeah, well, he was arrested the other day, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What for again?
What?
Julian Assange. He was arrested for obviously.
To Sweden to face allegations
Ecuador.
of rape and sexual assault.
And
WikiLeaks
Ecuador-
founder, yeah.
Ecuador revoked his protection.
Oh yeah, because he kept having meetings with Russians and Trumpists in his in the embassy.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear her thoughts on things like that, you're more than welcome to go to our website.
It's the top. If you type in ZETA, Zeta, first thing, Zeta Talk.
It's crazy that like it's still going.
Longer than YouTube.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
god, her blog is as old as I am.
It has been translated into Swedish, Japanese, Italian, Yiddish, Ukrainian, Chinese, Danish, Spanish, German, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, Dutch, traditional Chinese, Norwegian,
Cool Chinese.
and Polish. Yeah, but I'm just saying that means it's got some pretty global outreach.
She's got reach, yeah.
She's got reach. So if Leah, you want to recommend The Late Shift to everyone, a place where we don't believe a word any of you say, check us out.
Hey, if you want something to hate, we're here.
Yeah. I would love to hear some more of her theories. Maybe I'll go to her website and see like what's going on, what the Zetas are saying, because this is an old theory.
Thad, if you come back converted, I'm going to lobotomise you.
You do have a habit of getting way too into it.
Down the rabbit hole, that's what it's all about.
I thought it was
That's
Saul
his segment.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that's how you have to approach every piracy con. You've got to get in the mind of the person that believes it. That's what you got to do.
So
Someone already has. They put a chip in it.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, so that was PiracyCon Theories, which means that we've come to the end of our show. Thank you for joining us this week. We'll be back next week with famous facts and Down the Rabbit Hole. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.